Greetings everyone, this is Fernando from MOONSPELL. I'd like to invite you to the great festival in Ostrava, plamenech. With MOONSPELL and all the other great acts, you can miss it this summer. The earthquake is coming.
So here we are, this is the backstage, the show of the Spark TV, you know, and of course this is Fernando from MOONSPELL. So welcome, Fernando.
Hi, it's great to be back here at Czech Republic.
Yeah. So how are you at the beginning of a tour for the first day today? How do you feel it?
Very motivated. We have a new album out, a new show also to present to people. We just been playing in our home country, Portugal, and also we did a small tour in Spain. So this is, you know, where boys are separated from men, you know, the touring. And I think that we are very motivated, we are very well prepared as well, not nervous.
Are you looking forward for CRADLE of FILTH?
Definitely. I mean, we met CRADLE of FILTH in the 90s, and it's a band that we respect a lot because especially Danny, you know, he's been through the thick and thin with CRADLE of FILTH, but he never gave up on his dream because he loves CRADLE of FILTH. And sometimes people talk a lot about people like Danny, and they forget that he's only doing this because he loves it and because he's a metal fan, because he's a black metal fan as well, and he's a musician. So I always relate to people like him and like the CRADLE of FILTH. Since we met them in the 90s, all members have changed except Danny. I think that's not news for everyone, but for anyone. But I think they have a very cool, exciting new lineup with two of your country mates in there, Martin and Ashok. I met Ashok when he played with Root as well, so I was quite surprised when he joined CRADLE of FILTH, but also he's a very good guitar player, very good musician. So yeah, I look forward. I think Cryptoriana, it's a very good album.
We have to say that 1755 is really good record too. We have to say in our magazine, in Spark magazine, this album reached the first one, number one, I think in November issue. So this album was the album of the month, right? And when we were writing the charts of editors, this is one of my best metal album for the year 2017. Were you surprised about the reaction, good reaction, maybe from journalists and from everybody?
Actually, we had a very good response, you know.
Yes.
Sometimes things are a bit more cynical, but obviously it's not everything like black and white. Some people loved it, some people didn't think it was that special. I think we had the goal as a band, which was to tell the story of 1755, a story about Portugal. And we could never anticipate that it will be a story that, you know, for some people it's almost fiction, but it really happened in our country 262 or 3 years ago. And if you ask me, I wasn't definitely expecting, because it was an album in Portuguese. You never know, but I think that people that liked it really, in a way, validated our effort to tell the story, because it's in Portuguese and you're from Czech Republic, so we're speaking in English. So there could have been a more of linguistic barrier, but people understood that this is a concept album that had to be sung in Portuguese, and that was probably the biggest question mark, because I think it's still a MOONSPELL album. It's very intense, it's very dramatic. It's, like I said, it's all oriented to a kind of a storytelling with the music. So I'm very happy people liked it.
So on this tour, your show is more theatrical?
I hope so, you know. I hope it doesn't get too cheesy. I think 1755 has a lot to do with theater. That was one of the references I use, not to make a metal opera or a rock opera. I think that's too big for our own shoes in a way. But theater in the way of the ancient Greek theater with, you know, choir, with someone warning, with someone like going through the ruins, with music that identifies the natural elements, but also the elements from the street. So I think it's more definitely more theatrical. I don't really know what it means. It's just something that we do. We talked with the band, even the wardrobe and everything. It's I said it only makes sense to play this live, even intertwining with some older songs, and we play more from 1755 than any other album on this tour. And but it's a show that we design in our heads to grab people in a story, you know, to grab people. Yeah, it's a metal show. They can headbang, they can mosh, but I hope they don't invent anything for the earthquake like they did for the Vikings. That's, you know, seeing thousands of people, hundreds of people doing that is still, you know, a sight that I still have to get used to. But yeah, to grab people into something more dramatic, something more theatrical, it's exactly what we try to put in the 1755 tour.
Does it mean that this theatrical show with more with this kind of design of the stage you will bring on festivals? Because, for example, you will play in Czech Republic once again this summer on Ostrava v Plamenech festival. So does it mean that we can expect biggest stage with design of 1955?
Well, I hope so. But as I say all the time, it really does not only depend on MOONSPELL. Also, a band to have all this stuff that you see on Sabaton, Amon Amarth, Arch Enemy, you have to reach that level. And we are not on that level. Those are the biggest live bands right now, Creator, etc. So we understand this, and we also try to use our imagination. Our shows have been always very different. The lights we bring, the stuff we do, it's something that I wouldn't say it's unique, because we also take influences from other bands, but we're always trying to do it in our own way, not to fall in a pattern. So big or small, I think the show has to be impressive. And obviously in a festival you can take a lot of stuff, it's good, but also I prefer also, for instance, to have one idea that really works and that everybody's going to talk about it. Like, for instance, Masters of Rock, I did these laser gloves, and everybody had a lot of pyros, and there are a lot of people talking about it, and I bought them on a small suitcase, you know. So those kinds of stuff, it's very important for MOONSPELL, considering we are from Portugal, that sometimes we don't have the means to do stuff, but we do have a great imagination. I always say that if we reach the level of that band, we'll give a show that people will never forget, because also we have good ideas, you know, I think.
So what kind of special tricks we can expect? Well, then laser gloves.
The end game with 1755, I don't know if it's going to be possible to the festivals, let's see, but it's definitely to bring this show with a full orchestra, full choir, and video mapping of the earthquake. We are trying to organize this in Lisbon as the end of the tour, maybe in 1 year or something like that. If we can approach this to the festival, always, you know, we have to always to count with the practical or unpractical side, the flight tickets, the meals, whatever. But for instance, when we released the show in Lisbon, we released it in a smaller club. We played 2 nights. We wanted something more intimate, let's call it this way, closer to the crowds, more as we think 1755 should have been presented. And we had 5 plague doctors, like just miming the choirs, and we had 2 singers as well, and it really looked like the 18th century troupe, you know, like everyone dressed up, etc. And this was very good. So
I'm really sure that we can see it, or we will see it on Ostrava v Plamenech festival. This festival is situated in a very nice industrial area. That's this old steel factory. I think it's really unique. So we are looking forward to seeing this earthquake from 1755 in Czech Republic once again. So yeah, of course, good luck on tour, man. Good luck on tour. This is the first day, so I hope this will be a good show today. I hope. I'll tell you the truth. And everybody, stay tuned for more info about the Ostrava v Plamenech Festival. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you very much. Thank you. Take care.